Hello everyone. Before starting this lesson, try the warm-up. What are the factors of 24? What are the factors of 12? What are the common factors of 12 and 24? And what is the greatest common factor? Pause the video and try this. Well, if we want to know the factors of 24, we have to think about what are numbers that go into 24. I can do 1 times 24, I can do 2 times 12, I can do 3 times 8, and I can do 4 times 6. 5 doesn't go into 24, 6 is the next number, but it's already in my list, so now I have a complete list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24 are all factors of 24. Now, if I want to list the factors of 12, I have to think about numbers that multiply to 12. 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. So I've done 1, 2, 3. Next is 4, but it's already in my list, so I know I'm done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12 are all factors of 12. So what are the common factors of 12 and 24? Well, which factors do they have in common? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12 are the common factors of 12 and 24, but what is the greatest common factor? Well, of the common factors, 12 is the highest one. That's the greatest one. So 12 is the greatest common factor. This lesson is on factoring polynomials. We're going to factor expressions with common factors. We're going to factor quadratic expressions and factor a difference of squares. So just a note about factors, just like I can write 12 as the product of its factors, 6 times 2, I can write an expression as a product of its factors. So in this case, 2x plus 8 can be written as the product of 2 multiplied by x plus 4. 2 and x plus 4 are the factors of 2x plus 8. We can think of factoring as the opposite of expanding. When we're expanding something like this, we do x times x, x times minus 1, 4 times x, 4 times minus 1, and we simplify it, and we get this as the answer. Factoring goes the other way. We're writing the expression as a product of its factors, x plus 4 times x minus 1. Now, there are different methods of factoring that we're going to go over and review in this lesson, but we're really just doing the same thing. We're just trying to write an expression as a product of its factors. Now, in grade 10, you would have looked at all these different types of factoring. Now, this lesson is an overview of all these different types of factoring, and if you find that you need more details in your refresher of all this, you can ask me about it and I can help you with that. But the purpose of this lesson isn't necessarily to teach this for the first time. It is to just review what you would have learned in grade 10, just to jog your memory. So here's the first example. Factor the expression n squared plus 3n plus 2n plus 6. I'm going to show you how to factor by grouping. This is a skill that is going to become necessary once we start factoring complex trinomials. I'm going to group the first 2 terms in my expression, and I'm going to make a separate group with the last 2 terms in my expression. I'm going to find the greatest common factor in each separate group, and I'm going to factor that way first. So if I look at n squared and 3n, well, they both have n as a factor. The factors of n squared are n and n. The factors of 3n are 3 and n. So n is the greatest common factor. Now, what do I multiply n by to get n squared plus 3n? Well, n plus 3. n times n is n squared. n times 3 is 3n. So n squared plus 3n can be factored like this. Now do the same thing with the next 2 terms. 2n plus 6. What's the greatest common factor? Well, it's 2. And what do we have to multiply 2 by to get 2n plus 6? n plus 3. because 2 times n is 2n, and 2 times 3 is 6. So now we have this line, n times n plus 3, plus 2 times n plus 3. Do you see that this term and this term have n plus 3 as the common factor? Well, they do. So I can say that the greatest common factor is n plus 3. And what do I have to multiply it by? Well, n plus 2. Now, if I look at each factor, there's no more factoring that I can do. This is the factored form. So I took this 4-term expression and I factored it into this, n plus 3 times n plus 2. And I can always check, if I multiply this out, n times n is n squared, n times 2 is 2n, 3 times n is 3n, and 3 times 2 is 6. So when I multiply this out, when I expand it, I get the original expression. So I know that this is, in fact, the correct factored form. This next example is a review of simple trinomials. It's called a simple trinomial because, well, a trinomial because there's 1, 2, 3 terms, tri for 3, and it's simple because the leading coefficient on the x squared term is 1. Remember, if you don't see the coefficient, it means there's one of these variables there. There's 1x squared. Now, the reason this makes it simple is because we can skip right to the final step by finding the two factors. Now, when we multiply out the factors, remember we do the expanding, we need to end up with x squared. So it makes sense that the first term in here and the first term in here will be both x, because x times x gets me x squared. But what numbers do I put in here with the x? Well, if I think about it, when I multiply these two numbers together, I will get the final term in my trinomial, minus 16. And when I simplify the whole thing, I end up with plus 6 in the middle term. So these two numbers have to add to plus 6. So now off to the side, or just in my head, I need to try to find two numbers that multiply to negative 16 and add to positive 6. And if you're not sure, just go through the process. Start with 1. 1 times minus 16 gets me minus 16. Or it could be minus 1 times 16. Let's move to 2. 2 times minus 8 gets me minus 16. Or I could switch the signs. Does anything else multiply to 16? Well, it could be 4 times negative 4. 3 doesn't go in, 4 does, 5 doesn't go into 16, 6 doesn't go into 16, 7 doesn't, 8 does, but it's already in my list, so I know that I'm done. These are all the possibilities of pairs of numbers that multiply to negative 16. But we need to pick the pair of numbers that also adds to positive 6. So what's 1 minus 16? Well, it's not 6. What's negative 1 plus 16? Not 6. 2 minus 8 is negative 6. Negative 2 plus 8 is positive 6. So that's the winner right there. I had to just insert these numbers into my brackets, and this is the factored form. Now I can check to make sure I did it right by expanding. X times x is x squared, plus 8x minus 2x, well that's plus 6x. And then negative 2 times positive 8 is negative 16. So when I expand this, I get x squared plus 6x minus 16. So I know that this is the correct factored form. X minus 2 and x plus 8 are the factors of x squared plus 6x minus 16. Now here we have another expression, and we're asked to factor it. Factor the expression, 2x squared plus 12x minus 32. Whenever I'm asked to factor, the first thing I want to look for is a common factor. So look at each term. Is there a common factor? Well, yes, each number is divisible by 2. So 2 is a common factor. Can I factor out an x? Well, I can for the first two terms, but not the last one. So x is not a common factor to all three terms. But 2 is. So I'm going to make 2 a common factor. And what would the other factor be? Well, what do I have to multiply 2 by to get the line above? 2 times what gets me x squared? 2 times what gets me 12x? And 2 times what gets me minus 32? There you go. Now that I've found my greatest common factor and I've written out my factors 2 and x squared plus 6x minus 16, I have to keep looking to see if I can factor further. This factor here, x squared plus 6x minus 16, is a simple trinomial. In fact, this is the same simple trinomial as I had in the previous example, so I'm not going to walk you through how to factor this part again, but this is what we got in the previous example, x minus 2 times x plus 8. So, to fully factor this expression, look for common factors first. 2 is the greatest common factor. Can you keep factoring? Yes, it's a simple trinomial, so we can write it as a product of 2 factors. And this is the factored form. Now, this next example is an example of a complex trinomial. The reason I know it's a complex trinomial is because, well, I always look for common factors first. There is no greatest common factor of 2, 3, and 5. So now I look, is it a simple trinomial? Well, it's a trinomial, but it's not simple because the coefficient in front of the x squared is not 1. Because it's not 1, this means it's complex. We're going to have to do a little more work to factor this expression. You might recall the method of decomposition from grade 10. We're going to decompose the middle term, this term right here. Now, when I say decompose, I mean we're going to break it into more than one piece. So, in order for this to work properly, we need to break this middle term into 2 separate terms. And they need to add up to 3x, obviously, to maintain equality. But in order for this to work, they also have to multiply to the product of this times this, 2 times minus 5. So we need 2 numbers that multiply to negative 10 and add to 3. So I can work it out off to the side or just in my head. I need to find 2 numbers that multiply to negative 10. So start making your list. 1 times negative 10, or you can switch the signs. 2 times negative 5, or switch the signs. Does 3 go into 10? No. Does 4 go into 10? No. Does 5 go into 10? Yes, but we already have it in our list. This is a complete list. These are all the factors of negative 10. But which pair adds to positive 3? Is it 1 minus 10? No. Is it negative 1 plus 10? No. Is it 2 minus 5? Well, that's negative 3. Is it negative 2 plus 5? Yes, that equals positive 3. So that's the winner, and that's what we break this middle term into. So this is how we do it. The expression actually stays the same, except we're just making the middle term into 2 terms. Numerically, it's the same because negative 2x plus 5x is 3x. But we're breaking it into 2 parts so that we can do the next step, which is factor by grouping, which we did in example 1. So 2x squared minus 2x has the greatest common factor of 2x because both terms are divisible by 2 and they're both divisible by x. So 2x is the greatest common factor. And what do we have to multiply that by? 2x times x is 2x squared, and 2x times minus 1 is minus 2x. The next 2 terms have a greatest common factor of 5. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times minus 1 is minus 5. So here we are. We've started factoring by grouping. If we did it right, these 2 factors are the same, and they are the greatest common factor. So if x minus 1 is the greatest common factor, what do we have to multiply it by to get the line above? 2x plus 5. That goes in here. Now I could check to see if I have the correct factored form. If I expand and simplify this, I should end up with this original expression. And I do. You can test it out if you want. So always look for greatest common factor at the very beginning, and then keep factoring. If you see a complex trinomial, you have to decompose the middle term and factor by grouping. This next example is an example of a difference of squares. The word difference implies subtraction. You're finding the difference between these two terms. And these two terms are squares. Now, how do you know if your terms are squares? How do you know if this is a difference of squares? Well, here's a list of the perfect squares. 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared, 6 squared, 7 squared, etc. This is what they are. So if you see any of these numbers, if you see a perfect square, which I see here and here, then I know I'm dealing with a difference of squares. They both have square numbers in both terms. X squared is also squared, obviously. So 9 is 3 squared, and 4 is 2 squared. So this is squared, this is squared. You're finding the difference between two squares. This is a difference of squares. How many times can I say square? If it helps, you can think of 9x squared as 3x squared. You can think of 4 as 2 squared. Now it's more apparent that this is indeed a difference of squares. Now it's pretty easy to factor a difference of squares. Look at this, 3x, 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 2, well there's 2, plus in one, minus in the other. If I expand and simplify this, I'll get 3x times 3x is 9x squared, minus 6x plus 6x, that cancels out to 0. 2 times minus 2 is minus 4. So we do end up with this. So if it's a difference of squares, you're finding what are you squaring, put it in each bracket, plus in one, minus in the other. So we've covered pretty much all of our bases as far as factoring goes. If you need more detailed descriptions, or if you need more help with any of this factoring, please ask, because this is a very important skill in the rest of the unit, in the rest of the course actually, and in the rest of your high school math career, and into university if you're taking university math. So it's important that we have a good solid footing on factoring before we proceed. But if you want an extra challenge, here's one that's a doozy. Factor this expression fully. You can try this if you dare. This is how I did it. I recognized a simple trinomial, factored it, noticed that I'm multiplying the same thing by itself, that's squaring. This is a difference of squares, so I just factored it like a difference of squares and ended up with this. If you want me to go through that in more detail with you, just let me know. Otherwise, it's time to practice factoring. This is a skill that a lot of people have trouble with. So if you need help, you're not the only one, please don't be afraid to ask. We're going to spend a little while practicing factoring before we move on. So take your time and ask for help as you work through it.